Level five was a referral from my Vistage chair, and I don't know if people are familiar with Vistage, but it's a peer network or a peer group for senior executives. And so the chairman of my group had recommended Tom and referred him to me when I at my previous employer. And as soon as I started working with Tom and the level five partners, it was just there was immediate, immediate, I guess, we gelled pretty quickly. There were a lot of synergies, and it was easy to work with them. From a business professionalism standpoint, level five is always prepared, and they're probably more ahead of the game than you are. They probably move at a pace that you're like, oh, okay, that's how fast we're going here. Okay, I wasn't expecting it so quickly, but this is great. They always come buttoned up. They have and they have a dashboard that's very easy to use. It's pretty impeccable, very user friendly. At the same time, um, they will also work with you, whatever your comfort zone is. So if you prefer all your communications in email, like with attachments, that's what they'll send you before the meeting. It's very flexible model. Tom himself comes with a very highly consultative approach, and he'll work within your requirements, your limitations, but I found for myself, he would always keep me honest on the potential impact of my own of the limitations that I was setting, but not in a pushy or salesy way, but more like strategic guidance about what we need to be thinking about, what could happen if we go a certain path. It was always like I felt like he understood the challenges I was up against, and he was looking to help pave a road to find the right candidate. It was a seamless process. We had two high quality candidates within the first week or two, which was much for a critical role. It was something I was expecting would take several months, and we had two high caliber candidates within 2 weeks, one of which we ultimately selected. So the speed is quite phenomenal. I think the more specific and niche you get with roles, where I've worked on some niche roles with level five in the past, that again, like anything else, the more selective and narrow you become in your search, and the more constraints you put around the candidate that you're looking for, the longer it's going to take. I mean, it's logical. But again, I felt like he was always active and coming up with new ideas, like of where we could look, how we should be thinking about the candidate, which opened up, more opportunities to look, to find the right people. I have no doubt that whatever level five partners would recommend or suggest in terms of an assessment to try, I just felt like level five was more relatable. Tom's a real person. It's almost like you're just talking with someone casually. You're not being sold to. Stuff's not being pushed on you. So I felt like the surprising thing was what a refreshing experience it was, and how seamless the relationship formed. Because I was used to, when working with recruiters, being sold to and or being given volume or more volume over substance, and that I was kind of a little, I've always been a little, I guess, and I don't know if this is going to stay on this, but I've always been a little hesitant when working with recruiters and have my radar up for that. With Tom, that was never the case. Like, I just knew he had the best interests of my firm and the caliber and quality of the candidate that was going to fill that position, and that meant it meant quite a deal to me, and obviously it was probably the most surprising aspect. With Tom, that the work is lifted from you. You're probably penciling in, a half hour to meet with him weekly, plus, review of the candidates, the resumes and their background. Maybe that's like another, half hour, and then the interview process. So he really cuts a lot of the time out for you, by handing you high quality candidates, and also writing up detailed, summaries of those candidates. The other thing I'll add, I forgot to add this, and I think it was somewhere in the mix, is that Tom will take your job description and or level five partners will take the job description and rewrite it in a way, upon, with your review and approval, in a way they think will convey the position maybe more in a palatable way to candidates. And I felt like that helped a lot while staying on brand to your company too, which is great. So that's a added bonus as well. You could tell he does his homework. He again, like that's the one thing I see every time I meet with him, speak with him. He comes prepared. And it's funny with one of the candidates that I ultimately selected. Initially I think there were some growing pains as the person was onboarded, and Tom was right there every step of the way, like helping counsel me on like, hey, maybe you try this approach with with this new employee, or maybe like keep me posted. Maybe there are things we could do to help. It was never about I don't know. It was never like, hey, I sold you the candidate, I landed you the candidate, and I'll see you a year from now. So yeah, it's great because you always feel like he's in your corner. Yeah, my name is Matt Sinacori, and I am the Chief Operating Officer of a boutique investor relations firm. Absolutely 100% I would recommend level five.